Hi, my name is Matt Carlson. I am a former Cloquet Area Young Life leader. What are some of my first memories of leading Young Life? Monday night clubs. When we were meeting at Larry Kettle's house, we were getting 80 to 100 kids on a Monday night. Finding places for everybody to park, the piles of shoes in the entryway that we had to navigate, and just kind of the loud and craziness. And I'm not really sure how we did it, to be honest with you, with that many kids. But we had a blast, and those are, I'll never forget those Monday nights.
So my first memories of leading, I just remember being really nervous and feeling a little bit of pressure. And that I feel like that pressure was mainly from just wanting to be a great leader like all the leaders that I had growing up. So like that, Jim, MC, Erica Bergstead, and the Lauries. Going into it, I was always very nervous, just wanting to be that leader to these young students, and hopefully that I would have that impact on them.
I was lucky enough to have Kellin as one of my leaders, and he's one of the biggest reasons I wanted to be a leader. He was always funny, hilarious. He was a great guy for advice, anything of that nature. He was always there for us. Our favorite memory with Kellin would include when he was our camp leader and took me and a group of my best friends to Castaway. We had the time of our lives, and he did a great job. One year, our lacrosse team needed a coach, and we didn't have anyone. He had never played lacrosse or knew next to nothing about it, and he became our lacrosse coach. We lost every game by at least 10 goals, and he stuck with us through all the penalties and fist fights.
What I remember about Quinn as a high schooler was just his energy. So he always came in with a ton of energy and passion. It was always fun having him at clubs. I would say his biggest leadership quality that I saw was just him bringing other students. So he would, anytime he showed up, he would bring students, and a lot of those students became, regulars to Young Life. And so yeah, he had a positive impact even as a high schooler, showing those leadership qualities.
What do I remember about Kellin as a high school student? He was nuts. Still is. But if you can imagine a younger version and 10 times more immature at the time. But he was one of those kids that you wanted to be around. Other students, and I would say leaders as well. Like, you knew when he wasn't there. That's the kind of kid he was. I mean, he was pretty special. He has a different layer to him. I mean, once you kind of got through all that funniness and silliness, had a serious side, at camp and different things. You finally would get there with them. And he's just so authentic, and he's goofy and silly, and he's not afraid to kind of be messy and kind of weird, and all things that kids just they like. They feel like they can be themselves around them, and that's huge when you're an adult. Caring in kids' life is just kind of showing up and being authentically present with them.
His energy level is always a good thing to have at clubs. Sometimes students are really shy, and so energy levels can be low. And knowing Quinn, I guarantee you that the energy levels are always high with his personality. How he interacts again with students is definitely a positive thing. He's able and willing to have tough conversations with any student, which is a huge thing as a Young Life leader.
A lot of times they just want someone to show up and be real with them, and I think Kellin would be that. He's just one of those guys that will show up for you and walk alongside you and be a non-judgmental adult in your life and help kids out. And I think kids really respect that, and he would earn the right to be heard with them.
Memories from this year would include the Messy Clubs, which was my favorite club when I was in high school. Every kid had a blast. We had so many new faces. It was great to see. Another great memory from this year would be going to Castaway with just such a great group of kids, seeing them grow closer to Jesus and everything else that I had went through at Castaway, and seeing that from the other side was just great. Castaway is just a great place to have fun with your friends and come closer to Jesus. In a specific situation this year, there's a kid that maybe classified as a troublemaker. I convinced him to go to camp. Maybe he didn't know exactly what it was all about, or just had different expectations, but he wanted to walk away, he wanted to leave. Just walking him through all of it. And by the end of the day, he was loving camp and stayed throughout the rest of it and agreed to come back next year, which is a great feeling, even though he had moved an hour away. So getting him to club now is a challenge, but we hope to see him quite a bit this year.